On July 25th, 2013, activist Sung Jae-gi, head of men's rights advocacy group Man of Korea, jumped from the Mapo Bridge which crosses the Han River in South Korea. It was intended to be a simple publicity stunt that would bring attention to the group and raise money for its activities. Tragically, Mr. Sung did not survive the jump from which he intended to walk away. During the following 3 weeks, AVFM has reached out to Man of Korea, and we have received many emails from members and interested parties. However, it was only yesterday that we were able to interview someone who spoke English fluently. The young man, who wishes to be known only as Wayne, is not a member of Man of Korea, and does not speak for them per se. But he did give us vital information on the group, as well as the state of men in Korea and the influence of feminism in that country. Our deeply felt condolences go out to Mr. Sung's family and friends, and we look forward to developing a relationship with Man in Korea as soon as they recover from this terrible loss. How long has Man of Korea been around?
The first, it was there was a organization called Anti-Feminism and Man Liberation. That was the name. It was not by the Mr. Sung. It was just a group of people in the internet that wanted to change the society, but it really didn't work well at first. And after 2 years later, 2008, Mr. Sung started Man of Korea, but for 3 years it didn't really work well, so actual influence has started from 2011.
So 2011 was really when they started being really active.
Yes.
Okay.
That was, yeah.
Why was it formed? What was what kind of issues was it concerning itself with in particular?
So basically the thing was this. It happened. This was established because of like general people's idea in the society were kind of wrong, and Mr. Sung wanted to change. And there was a particular event. I found an interview on the internet that in Korea all of the men have to go to the military. Do you know that?
Yes.
And so since it is kind of unequal between men and women, government has system called Veterans Extra Point System. So it applies to like job application or work or like those different things. And suddenly it became banned. So which means that men do not get any privilege due to military service, although woman has 2 more years for preparation in the society. So Mr. Sung felt kind of like it is wrong, it should be changed, and that's why he established this organization.
What other issues are facing men in Korea today? Are they similar to what you've seen here in the U.S. and in Canada or in the West? What are some other issues besides the military issue that are problematic?
I'm kind of sorry to say, but I don't really know what is going on in the United States and Canada. Can you give me?
Sure. Well, examples? we have very probably primarily more than anything else, we have a very seriously corrupt family court system which favors the mother over the father. They say it's for the best interest of the children, but it has nothing to do with kids. It has to do with money and political power. We also have our education system is incredibly anti-male. Our criminal courts do not treat men and women the same way. There's a lot of things, really. Do you have any of those? What's family court like over there in Korea? Is the divorce rate high in Korea as it is over here?
No. I heard from U.S. people that divorce is kind of very kind of common. How should I say it? Is it kind of common in the United States?
Yes, common, and it's very common. 50% of all marriages fail after the first 5 years, and after 10 years, it's up to like 75%. So marriage is really just not. It's terrible deal. And whenever there is a divorce and it goes to court, the man ends up losing half of everything he's ever worked for. Usually 95% of the time, the custody of the children goes to the mother, and that's sole custody. That's not shared custody. And there's also a lot of problems with false accusations of all kinds of abuse. So mom can get a upper hand in the proceedings. It's very, very bad here. So I guess you guys just don't have the same divorce rate over there, do you?
It's kind of lower than the United States, but recently it's increasing. So
right, okay.
I researched about like different things that men are having inequality on this country. For example, in Korea, women workers have holidays for their menstruation.
Oh, really? Wow.
I think Korea is the only one that has this kind of system.
Yeah. How many? So it's like every month they get paid time off. How much time off do they get?
If they want, like for a few days, I think. Well, 1 or 2 days, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it's, for example, another like there are so many things. So I'll go over one by one.
Absolutely.
Next one is like money for marriage. Like when they prepare for marriage, in 1996, men had to prepare for $43,000 and women had to prepare for $35,000. That was
What is this that if you get married in Korea, you're required to come up with this money before you get married?
No, like they're like preparation for like housing.
Oh, okay, right. All right.
All these different things. By the way, recent research shows that men like usually prepares 80,000, while woman prepares for 30,000.
Right.
So that is like a big gap between gender, right? The thing that is kind of important is that about the public properties that government provides for people.
Right.
There is a Ministry of Gender Equality and Family in Korea.
Right.
But like in English it is gender equality, but if we translate it in Korea, it's Ministry of Women and Family.
I see.
So like they provide public properties that for women, which should be useful for both genders, right? Mm-hmm. For example, stairs and subway stairs and those things, like women are worried about like their clothes and like their how should I say it, like they're worried about showing their, like, if they wear like short skirts, when they go upstairs, men might
look underneath and see what's going. I see, right, yeah.
And like they're kind of worried about that, so government provides stairs for women, and it's pretty weird, I think. And other public properties such as library, parking lot, seats in subway or bus, even government provides like cheaper housing for women. And there's a extra point system for mothers, which means that if you're a woman who has a child, you get extra credit for like applying for a job or work.
I see.
And what men in Korea believe that this is wrong because they have equal chance to prepare for works and other different things, and they want these privileges. There are other things such as, usually Asia is known as men preference society.
Right.
But actually it's kind of changing a lot. There is a survey for parents who adopted children, and the preference for female baby is 68%.
I see.
So which means that a notion of preferring son in Asia is much different than past. Interesting thing that I can maybe talk about is prostitution. In Korea, prostitution is illegal, of course. But person who bought for prostitution get punishment such as imprisonment or like paying fee to the government, but the prostitute who sold their sex do not get any punishment.
Right. How long has that been the case?
I think it's been for few years.
Okay. So it kind of follows the Swedish model. In Sweden, it's the same way.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in there. I think maybe, I didn't know that. I guess maybe only Korea and Sweden are the only two countries who are like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, education can be like, there are some colleges for women, and I thought that this could be one of the discrimination between the gender, because men will get lack of chance for education because of these colleges for women.
So men are discriminated against in the education system.
Yeah, that's that's kind of what happens. And final thing that I want to talk about is, there are lots of like organizations in this country that woman organizations. There are 485 woman organizations in Korea, which is running by government tax, that what we pay.
Right.
But there are no any men organization that works for men's rights in Korea. Men of Korea is the organization that does not run by government tax. They get like fund from the just people.
Right.
So this can be an example that show discrimination of the gender, I think.
Right, I see. Tell us about feminism in Korea.
But what I think as a Korean man is that the idea of feminism itself is kind of wrong in this country. Definition of feminism should be a movement that advocates equal rights for women, right?
Right.
But in Korea, I think that women have all same right as men. Right now, it's kind of changed quite a lot compared to the past, like Joseon dynasty like 200 or 300 years ago. What I believe is that Korea feminism is working for women privilege to have more than men, not rather than having equal. They want something much more than that. Although things are pretty equal in here. Feminism is quite prominent in here because, as you can see, there is a ministry that works for women, right?
How much attention did Man of Korea get from the press by the death of Mr. Sung? Was it a lot, or were people talking about it the next day? Was it a big deal? Or was
I think it was a pretty big deal because of throwing himself into the river. It made a kind of tremendous issue in this society. Before throwing, lots of people do not know what men's right movement is.
Right, I see.
They've never heard of it, but after that thing happened, like people started to know what men's right is and what kind of inequality that they have, and they started to realize the discrimination and started to know that oh no, this thing should be changed.
I see.
Yeah, and it kind of changed the people's mind quite a lot. That's what I think.
Great. So it had a pretty serious impact then.
Yes, it has a quite great impact, but the problem is that there's no organizations or no people that can continuously keep this,
Right, keep it going. It's still a tenuous.
Yeah.
I see. I understand. Those were really all the questions I had for you. I don't want to keep you any longer, unless you had anything else you wanted to add, anything else you wanted to talk about.
Through this interview, I really hope that men's right in Korea has quite serious problem right now. Because, in Korea right now, there's nothing that can show these ideas through organizations, right? And we need help, like through this interview, I really want to show to people in the United States that Korea has also similar problems in the United States also.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that AVFM wrote the article about him, his death, and showing the issue in Korea. And I really appreciate that. I want to say thank you about that. And yeah, and this is all that I can think of right now.
Thanks a lot for joining me today.